can you take us back to the moment where you thought about becoming an investor? Is it a thought that gradually comes, or do you have a finance interest from an early age and then you see a huge opportunity? Can you just take us back to that moment where you started dabbling about this idea of going outside and maybe help in another way as an investor?
Yeah. So, I've always had this interest for the business side, and I can't really define one point when I said, oh, wow, this looks interesting, I want to spend time on it. It was sort of a continuous spectrum from, growing up, looked for business opportunities. At some point, me and my friend would, gather some flowers in the garden and try to sell them to the neighbors. Until sort of when I was studying and working as a medical doctor, I had interest for investing. So very small scale, but, doing things that had a low barrier to entry, investing in some listed companies, also invest a little bit in real estate. So things that were sort of not particularly focused on the medical sector. Yes, when I invested in listed companies, those companies I looked at as well as others. But it was quite broad, this interest in investing. And living in London, I got more exposure to the finance sector. And also sort of this cross-section between medical innovation and investing, which really venture capital is all about. And that was sort of a point where I realized that this kind of fitted perfectly with a range of my interests, interest in the medical space, interest in innovation, looking at new things, finance side, and investing. So that was kind of a point where sort of the pieces just were falling into the places.
I mean, it's super interesting because if you look at your field, right, you're very high on purpose, right? You're saving life in like the most extreme sense. But then you have this concept of, as a doctor, you're saving one person at a time and you can scale your hours. So is it also sort of like this notion of, okay, if I have a breakthrough medicine, I can save millions of people because that can be a breakthrough taking out globally. Does that also come to play when thinking about where can I envision myself having the best impact?
Have the most impact, yeah, absolutely. It's exactly how you describe it. It's incredibly rewarding working as a medical doctor, being able to help people. But as you say, it's like helping one person at a time, and you only have sort of a limited number of hours in the day. Whereas, when you get a new product onto the market, suddenly you can help thousands of people that are suffering. So that's absolutely spot on.